Hello and welcome to tutorial 3. We're almost done on this short tutorial series for Outlook Calendar, and we can already start to see that our timeline is starting to shape up. So you've probably put in a few more goals than I have, just because I'm only demonstrating this, and this isn't what your final one will look like. Your one will hopefully be a lot more detailed than this very basic example. However, what I want you to keep in mind, especially for John's students, is the kind of level of detail that we should be putting in. So let's put in a practice session. So what let's say here on a Thursday afternoon, we want to practice for 2 hours. So now everyone, of course, breaks up their practice session differently, but let's say we're going to practice for the first 15 minutes, so that's 2 till 2:15. We'll do long notes or whatever. So now the idea is not to just leave it as long notes. We want to actually specify which long notes we're going to put in. So we go C, C sharp, and D can be our 3 long notes that we'll cover in that 15 minutes. Next, we will go from 2:15 till say 2:45. We're going to do some scales. So again, we have to specify which scale. So let's say we're going to do C, C sharp, and D major scales. Next step, and of course you just keep on filling the information in with about that level of detail. Make sure you give yourself breaks and so forth. So that's the kind of level of detail that we're after for Mr. John Stiefel. So once we've put that in, I would better label it as a practice session, and then label it with the appropriate color. So we can see now we've got our practice session for this day, and we've got our recurring items and so forth. But the problem right now is that we can't actually see the little details that we've put in to each of these sessions. So I've by the way, between the last tutorial and this one, I've put in a bit of some notes in each of these sessions. I've put in a couple of notes. So the way we can actually view these notes in the week view, or rather the 5-day work week view, is by right-clicking up here on the blue bit, and then hitting our advanced options. And this comes up with this cool little tab here. And then by selecting this tab and going day, week, month view with auto preview, it actually shows us all of our information that we can't see normally in the normal basic view, which is really, really neat. This will also come up in the print version if you're printing it from this view. So, speaking of print, let's find out how to do that. So, the way to print is to print in this view is fairly straight ahead. We go File, Print, and then in the weekly view, and we go OK. Hang on. Sorry. Let's try that again. File, Print, and we go Page Setup. My apologies. And we have to specify left to right. And once we do that, we can preview it, and it still doesn't work. So we have to specify left to right, because otherwise it comes up with this other view. And once we do that, we can see here quite nicely it comes up with the view that we want, and we can just print that as we would normally. Cool. One other neat little thing that I've not mentioned yet is we can put each of our appointments into a category. We do this by right-clicking on the appointment and going down to our categories section. And I've actually, it will come up with something completely different for you, but I've gone into my master category list and added in the sessions that I want. You can add a session by going in, just typing in whatever you want. So birthday, and then you just add it, and there it comes up as a category. So you can select your item as a birthday, or that particular item was a practice session. So we'll just select as a practice and hit OK. Now I've labeled each of these already. So when we go in our advanced view mode, when we scroll down to our categories, we can see that under our practice category, I've listed each one of my practices, or under my masterclass category, you can see that we've got a recurring masterclass every Tuesday from 2 till 4 p.m. This is really handy when you've got tens, if not hundreds, of practice sessions and different classes on, and you just want to have an idea of what's going on. Of course, you can print this view as well, in the same way that we've just seen. There's one more thing that we are actually going to look at, and that is how to share this with other people. So the way to do that is to actually export the file. So we're going File, Import and Export, and then we just go Export to a file, Next, and into a personal folder file, and Next again. We have to select Calendar, and then we select the output folder that it's going to go to. I've just been saving them in their own little file. So say we go into the desktop, we make a little folder for it. So we're going trial 1, and we can just save it all on its own there, and it will come up with these options to replace or allow duplicates, whatever. It doesn't matter because it's in its own little file. And we just hit finish and OK, and then hopefully it's just come up on the desktop in its own little thing right there. Now this file here, we can then go back into Calendar, and to access your file, or if someone else has emailed you one, you can go File, Import and Export, import from another program, and then there it is, personal folder file, and you just go through the steps. It's really self-explanatory. That is all I've got to offer at the moment. I can't really think of anything else that I can mention to you. Please don't hesitate to leave any comments on the YouTube page, and I'll try and get a response out if there are any questions that I can help. Otherwise, there's a lot of information available on Google, and you can just look it up. So I really hope that this has helped, and yeah, enjoy. Thank you.